Okay, so once you go here, you want to click on here. You want to click the thing to log in here. And we're going to go ahead and log in. And then you should be presented with the site that looks like this. All right. So now, I want to just give you a tour of WordPress. Okay, so this is the latest version of WordPress. WordPress has solved a lot of issues and over the years. So it's really slick. Once you have WordPress on here, if they have a new version, it's like a one-click install, and it will do everything you need to install the latest version. Okay, so WordPress works off of both posts and pages. Notice you can put a post, you can add media, you can add a page. So I want to show you the home page. And the way you can go to the home page, by the way, this is the dashboard. This is like the back end of your site, and where you can configure what the appearance is through themes, widgets, menus, etc. You can install plugins. This is where you can add nice features to your site. There are thousands upon thousands of plugins, from iframes that, to tag clouds, to like scrolling images, to logins, to surveys, to whatever you can think of that would be a nice feature to add to your website. You can just add a new one and install it. And so there's a lot of things here, but let's just talk about the intro. First of all, you'll get this window along the top when you're logged in. And this is something you wouldn't see if you were just visiting the site. If I click the name of it, it'll take me to what it looks like for someone just looking at my site. Okay? And you can see here, it's pretty blank. There's not a lot going on with the styles. And it has the title of the site, a hello world with a reply, and some other things here. So WordPress was designed to be what's called a blogging software, which allows users to put in little entries like journal entries. Okay, and people use it for photography, they use it for politics, they use it for crafts, they use it for how-to sites, they use it for just about anything they can think of. Okay, this is called a post. You'll notice it says here on the right, recent post, hello world, recent comments, Mr. WordPress said something about hello world, and then you have a list of archives, and the archives is just a list of all activity that you've done on your site. And so then you have categories, so you can categorize the type of post that you do. And so one of the things I want to show you is the difference between a page and a post. So could you go to the dashboard right now? Get the dashboard open, and you're going to add a post. So click on where it says post. First of all, if you know you're going to have different sorts of categories on your site, you can create the categories now. So let's go ahead and do that. So one of the things you can do on your website is, if this is like a portfolio of your work, you could have your website be a portfolio of your work, and one category could be, you could do like Photoshop. And then slug, what I recommend you do is, it says slug is URL friendly. It's usually all lowercase, contains only letters, numbers, and hyphens. So on here, you could, for example, put a space on the name of your category. This is what will be displayed. This will actually be used to create your web address. Okay? You can create a parent, so you could have like a category called design, and under it you could have Photoshop, you could have CSS, you could have other things related to that. You can write a description, or you can leave it alone. We can click Add New Category. And now, once we add it, we have Photoshop, we have uncategorized. We can delete uncategorized if we want, or actually, I would just leave it there for now. But what I would do is, for every time you do a post, you should have a category. Anyway, so you can add more categories. So I'm going to add a category like HTML5 because I'm going to do something maybe web design related. Or I can do one called layouts. And so if this were like a portfolio of my work, I might have layouts, images, websites, projects, whatever, and create a bunch of different categories. Do add a slug for all of these. Like I said, all lowercase, no spaces. If you have more than one word, like you're to put like my layouts, you could put instead my dash layouts like that. Okay. So anyways, that's up to you. So we're going to add a few categories. They don't have any parents. And I'm just going to leave it at that. I've got Photoshop and layouts. And then maybe later on I'll add another category. Okay, but you saw how easy it is to create categories. So now I'm going to add a new post. So under Posts, click Add New. And you're going to have a window here. The title for your post goes here. The content goes in here. You can add media, pictures, videos, things like that using this tag. You can make it bold, italicized. You can do strike-throughs, bullets, numbered list, block quotes. You can align it left. You can center it. You can align it right. You can get what's called the Insert More tag, and that's one of those where you put part of a blog entry, and then it says, you know, for more, view this site, and then it would put that little thing there, and when they click it, it would take you. And over here on the right is what's called the kitchen sink, and it allows you to do formatting such as paragraph, address, headings. One of the nice things here is, for the most part, you're stuck. You can use any form of heading, a paragraph, pre-formatted if you want to show code or whatever. And this still won't affect the overall design of your site. You can make things underlined. You can change the text color. You could do some of this. Paste as plain text. This is good if you're copying from like a Word document. But I don't recommend you do paste from Word. I'm not sure if that cleans it up or makes it look worse. It should clean it up. You can indent. So if you want to make a bulleted list here, and you hit enter, you can hit indent, and now once you indent, it should be able to let you, hold on. And hit enter, you can backspace it out, you can get a paragraph. Your title will be your header, so you don't have to put headers in here. So let the title be your header. I'm going to write on here my first official post. Now, what I'd like you guys to do is go ahead and create a post, and it doesn't have to be anything real, no real comment if you don't want to. Give it a title, put some text in here. You can do Bacon Ipsum if you want, or you can write something down. Play around. You can try adding media. And then notice on the right-hand side, you have Publish. You can save it as a draft. Save it as a draft would be if you're not done and you don't want to make it public, you can save the work you've done and you can come back to it later. You can see what it will look like on your site by clicking Preview. You can publish, and that just immediately puts it on your site and everyone can read it. And then there's a list of formats. Standard would be your standard post format. Aside would put it on like a sidebar. It could be an image, and an image format has a special set of styles based on how you set it up. You can make it just a link, a quote, status, whatever. So you choose your format, then you can choose your category, and you can choose any number of categories you want. So you can click more than one if you want. And let's say this is it, and I'm just going to publish it. It's pretty boring and bland, but I'm just going to try it out and see what it looks like. So once I click Publish, once it's done, it'll say Post Publish, and I can view it. So if I click View Post, it's going to show me what it looks like on my site. And there it is, my first official post. Leave a reply. Here is a post. This, 1, 2, 3. Notice how I did that where I indented my bulleted list. So it worked there. It'll say this entry was posted in Layouts, Photoshop, on the date. By the way, if you're logged in, you can click Edit. And now you will have your window. You can actually start editing it and make changes to it if you like. And let's try embedding media. So you click Add Media. And this is another thing you should get used to. And it's pretty easy, isn't it? You can do this. You can create a gallery of images, etc. Featured image is pretty cool. I'm going to use featured image, and I'm going to select a file. And I'm going to create what's called a featured image. And there's some cool stuff you can do with that. So I'm going to find one of my web design images for. Okay, so I found one of my images I did for web design, layer mask. I select that file. And it looks like it's got it. There it is. It has it. So that I set it as the featured image. I'm going to click Set Featured Image. And let's see if I can add it here. And now I'm going to insert this into my post. So do you see what I had to do? I had to go back here and I had to click Insert into my post. Now I have a little thumbnail there. So now I know this was my layer mask. Now, don't worry about the style of how you style this up because we're going to do styles in a little bit later. So I'm going to click Update. Now, watch what happens on the featured picture. This can be nice. By the way, when you do a featured picture, you can create your website to style it any number of different ways. Like I've seen it where the featured picture actually shows up in the header, and then you get a thumbnail of it. And so now we have this image here. This was done in Photoshop, so I might want to edit it to add that. So I'm going to click, well, it says layouts in Photoshop. I'm just going to pull layouts out. So I click Edit, and I'm going to uncheck layout because it's not a layout. And then I'm going to click Update. So you can make changes to anything you create at any time. And now let's add one more post so you can see how this works. And that was a layer mask. I'm going to put on here color palette. And I'm going to click on here. I'm going to add the media. I want to go to, I want to upload a file. So I click Upload Files, select Files. I'm going to do the palette knife. Oh, it's filters. I select it. And once it's selected, I can put a caption on it. So I can actually caption that, and I can copy it and paste it on the alt text, which is good. I can display it. I can align it left, center, right, and then text will wrap around it. I can now link to the media file. I can set its size, and I can insert it into the post. It wasn't color palette, it was palette, knife, filter, and I'm going to click Publish. Oh, wait, before I do that, it is Photoshop also, and I'm just going to check it. Let's say it was a layout thing, so I check it there too. I click Publish. Once I've published it, it'll show me it's published with the little yellow background, and I can view it. There it is, palette knife, filter assignment, there it is. Now, it was an entry was posted in layouts. If I click layouts, I can see here's layouts. And now I can click on Photoshop. And you will see on Photoshop, I have two different entries because both of these used the Photoshop entry, but the layout was only done through the palette knife. See how that works? So it will organize your files based on categories. So what I want you to do is start playing around with this, go to the dashboard, and see what you can do. And Pages works almost the same. You just click on Pages, and you can add a new page. You can view pages that exist. There's a sample page. You can edit that and change it. Or you can just click Add New. And when you create a page and you work on it and edit it, in a little bit, I'll show you later how you can add templates that you can use for your page. And what we're going to do is we're going to style our own templates for this website. Okay, one other thing I want to talk about, and there's plenty to talk about, is plugins. You really got to see this. This is really cool. So hover over plugins in the dashboard and click Add New. And so what you're going to do is you're going to look for a plugin you can add to your site. Now, here's our popular plugins. So there's a series of Facebook plugins, email plugins, Ajax, BuddyPress, etc. Okay, so you figure out something you want to do as a plugin. So let's do like image gallery. I'll put image slider, image gallery, and I'm going to click search plugins. This goes to the actual WordPress site, and it pulls all these plugins that were developed for it. And it has ratings, so you want to find one with high ratings, not with the low rating. Like really simple responsive image slider might not be a good one because there's no ratings. No one has rated it, so we don't know if it's good or not. This is version 1.4.2, and it has a good set of ratings. 43 people rated it. Let's take a look at it. So I clicked details, and then it's going to open this window, and I've got a whole description of what that does. And so if you know how to read, I hope you do by this point, read it. Look at features. But then that doesn't tell you the full picture. Go to screenshots, and here it's cool because now you can see, okay, what does it look like to manage it on WordPress? What does the main screen look here? And then I'm more curious about what does it look like on a live site. So I click here, and I can see an image on a live site. So that's kind of what it looks like. It's got those little dots there to go back and forth. If you like it, you can install it. Okay. You might, before you install anything, you might want to look at screenshots. Look, how complex or easy is it? Is it to work with? So it looks like it creates this little tab here called Soliloquy, and you can play around and you can add a new one. You can play with settings. Here's a bunch of them there. So if you think that's a good one, install it. If you're not sure, you might want to install it. Sometimes it'll say it hasn't been tested on your version of WordPress. This one has, so this should be pretty solid. There's a frequently asked question. You can look here. You can click on a link. You can go to their plugin page where they describe it to get more information. If you like it, just click Install Now, and it will install it for you. It's pretty nice. Okay, and it should open up a window saying Installing, and you'll see, unpacking, installing, successfully installed the plugin. And once you install it, if you want to use it, you have to activate it first. So we'll click Activate Plugin. By the way, I don't think I've ever used the Soliloquy, so this is the first time I've done it. So now under plugins, you have two plugins that were already part of your site and this new one called Soliloquy. And you can go to their website here if you want to. You can edit it. So let's take a look at what the edit window does. And then down on the left, you see this. Now, edit is if you want to change the code. Now, this is all the programming code that created it. So if you know how to program, you can learn how to program in PHP. And you can make changes to it. But I don't recommend, now first of all, I don't really recommend you make direct changes to the plugin. There's ways you can work with the plugin without breaking it. The problem with actually making an edit here is if the plugin has a new version and they update it, you're going to want to get the new version, but that's going to write over any changes you made. But that's okay because we're not at that stage to do that. So what I want you to do is click on Soliloquy here if you've installed it. And now you can add new ones. So I can click Add New. And immediately you realize, want full access to all available features? Pay now. Hey, there's a call to action, by the way. So you can click here to upload images. Let's just upload a few. I'm going to click Select Files. We'll see if we can upload more than one. I'm going to click all three and click Open. Once it's done, I'm going to click Save All Changes. And look, I can have all tabs show. I can do ascending, descending, whatever. I think once I'm done, Just going to save all changes, and I'm going to close it. There they are. So you have different options here we can change. Click here to upload. Let's just publish this now. Oh, let's enter a title. And then on here, there is no category, so I'm just going to click publish. And let's see if we can view it. Not sure where it goes, so now I have to figure out where that is. Doesn't show it on here. So I'm not done. So I'm just going to have to keep working on this till I figure it out. I'm going to go back to the dashboard. I'm going to go back to Soliloquy and see if what I missed. Ah, here we go. I get it. Okay, take a look, guys. Here's a new thing. On plugins, there are several times in a plugin they'll tell you what's called a short code. That's this over here. Let me zoom in on that. Okay, this is short code. You can just copy what you see here, paste it into a post, and it will appear. And then if you want to work on your own themes, you can copy a function, and anytime you see a function like this, you paste that into a PHP file, and wherever that is pasted, it will work. We're going to do that. That's a more advanced method, so we're just going to copy the short code here. So I'm just going to copy that. Now let's zoom out. And now I have the short code here, so I'm going to add one more post. I'm going to paste that right there. Call it Photoshop Samples. That's the short code. I'm going to click Publish. Once it's published, now that short code there, by the way, you're going to see if you create other Soliloquy slides, it'll probably say Soliloquy ID equals and give you a different number for a different set of slideshows. But let's view it now. And there we go. So that's Soliloquy. And if we pause there for a moment, it'll fade from one to the next. And so that's what functions are like. It's figure out what function you want, make sure it's the one you wanted to use, make sure it works with your site, read the instructions, or just be good at testing stuff out and playing with it. And note short codes we talked about. So the short code there was a pretty simple thing. It was just, we got it from the site itself, and you just paste. A short code will be surrounded with brackets like you see here. Each plugin usually has a short code for putting it and embedding it in a site. Other times they work differently, but this is very common, so this is a good one for you to be familiar with. So that's just a simple introduction to plugins.